Wolverhampton this afternoon, but glad to see so many people have joined us this afternoon for this month's Jobs Club, hosted by the West Midlands Combined Authority and RMF Training Group. Need to carry on as normal. For anybody that's been to previous sessions, we'll be looking at a quick fire session where we've got two of our significant regional employers in the construction sector able to give us a good overview. So we'll have Dave, we'll have Tom, and hopefully have Lee contributing today to tell us all the great opportunities that exist across the West Midlands. Don't be put off if the regional accents from myself or from our contributors don't quite represent Birmingham or a Black Country accent. We have got Black Country and Birmingham built into us, but what we have got is also national connections with contract work that happens across the sector. So really glad to see people wanting to hear more. Equally, these sessions will happen monthly. If those people is the first time to join, we want to bring forward as many opportunities in live. So unlike the normal recruitment processes that you might have experienced with Reed or Indeed or other such recruitment agencies, where you don't get an opportunity to see the people and hear from the people, equally follow up directly through RMF Training Group or the Combined Authority.
Let you have copies.
Oh yeah.
Apologies if I went on mute there temporarily. Give people a real opportunity to get some interviews direct with a real person, and then some real feedback in terms of the opportunities and as many people moving into job roles that exist across this region as possible. So I think without further ado, David, if we can start with you at Galdris, just telling us about where you're working, the type of work that you're undertaking at the moment in the West Midlands, and equally the real fascinating bit about the job opportunities that exist within the Galdris organisation currently, please.
Okay, well, Galdris, we're a civil engineering construction infrastructure specialist. We're based down in London, just outside Enfield, and we've done an awful lot of work around a lot of the London boroughs. We're responsible for the massive redevelopment over at Brent Cross. But now what we're doing, we're finding ourselves branching in on High Speed 2 into jobs into the Midlands. So that's why we're trying to engage and get involved. Like I say, we've been kind of specialists in this kind of field since about 1999 when the company was started. And since then, we've seen some real good growth and some massive growth. And it's still owned by the same two guys. We also have got a plant side, which is ODG Plant, which is a plant hire firm as well. But we're also responsible for some training in relation to that. What we're doing currently, we've got 4 of the high-speed HS2 plots that we're doing. They were listed, Burton Green, Long Itchington, and there was 2 others that don't spring to mind because I can't see them. And what we're currently doing is going through a labour forecasting exercise to see what we need in the short term and what we're likely to need in the long term, primarily because we are expecting more jobs to come online as we progress, hopefully up the line with these kind of tunnels and the bridges that we're actually involved in. The jobs we're looking for, well, it's going to be your traditional, well, not your traditional ones, but your steel fixers, your formwork carpenters, your general ground workers, your general support staff, your banksmen, your traffic marshals, maybe some gatekeepers and that kind of stuff. Obviously, once we get the forecast done properly, we'll actually know kind of numbers and in what specific areas and what specific sites. But it's a real positive step for us to move up and increase our kind of offer to industry. So we're really looking forward to getting involved. We've been starting the delivery of apprenticeships. We've always did the odd 1 or 2. I came on board last March, and we're now looking at, we've currently got 9 apprentices. We're looking at another 9 coming online in the next 2 months, I should think. That's just on the projects we've got down in London. So obviously when we move up, we will be looking to increase the amount of apprenticeships we can offer to local people. As part of our commitment to social value. We do see the benefit as an organisation about apprenticeships, and it's something that has kind of driven the business currently, which is really kind of good to know as far as I'm concerned. Like I say, we will be branching out. We will be working very, very closely with RMF, who is going to be our recruitment partner. We will be doing training up there on one of their sites and stuff like that, and they'll be handling our recruitment needs as we go through this process. So when we're talking about applicants, we're just sorting out how our applicants will go, but it's generally felt that they will be applying and we will source our candidates for our roles through them, RMF.
Okay, no, and very much appreciated, David. So the bits I'm always interested in when people talk about apprenticeships, what does the age range look like for apprenticeships in Galdris at the moment?
Well, with us, we tend to only look at 18 plus because of the amount of heavy machinery that's involved in what we do. We can be flexible with a few months in relation to that, but we're not being funny. We don't tend to look at, the health and safety officer insists that we don't look at 16-year-olds. So 17 and a half onwards, no upper age limit, but that's really due to the, you know, like I said, trying to maintain the high level of health and safety that we currently have. We currently surpassed 3 million hours without a RIDDOR reportable incident. So we're very proud of the way we can handle and look after people. So 18 plus ideally, but we can be flexible by a couple of months.
Okay, then, and again, the advantage that I think working on HS2 contracts, the minimum pay rate that roles would attract is set.
Yeah, we will comply with all minimum rates set. We are we're a living wage employer. We've actually we're just going through accreditation with the Living Wage Foundation. So anyone comes on our site after a satisfactory period of a short period, likely to be 3 months, they will be on the living wage.
Okay, and I think that's the assurance that people need, especially adults that are approaching my age and looking around the room. I think there's people who are a little bit younger than me. You know, well done for that. But equally, the word apprenticeships I often find is misconstrued. People only think it's for young people. People then think that the attraction of apprentices is at a low wage perspective. So if you have your own house or you're self-dependent, you need that ability to know that living wage opportunities exist. And then I think, David, what would be interesting is if you can just explain to people the length of the packages that you're looking at with HS2. Are we looking at you know a month or 2 month times of work opportunity or longer?
I'm not aware of how long the package is. Most of the packages, I think the Long Hitchinson Wood and the Burton Green are 15-month packages. So I'm not aware of what the other ones coming on in length of time. But our commitment would be to take on apprentices, and then as one finishes, we would move them on to another one. So if we took on a steel fixer, that's I think you'll find that's an 18-month apprentice plus the EPA at the end of it. We will maintain employment for that person wherever they go. That may not be on the original one they start on, but they will complete on a Galdris project on a high speed 2 as we move through other roads and through the months ahead. So we're not looking to kind of lose people or pass them over to somebody else. Once we commit to them, if they're the right candidates, we will make sure they qualify.
Excellent. And I think that's for the people who've joined today, that assurance about sustainable employment is absolutely key.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge. And obviously, I'm fully aware, I've been about, like I say, I'm long in the tooth, fully aware that by paying the living wage, you actually can recruit from a nice cohort of people. When which was £5-6 an hour, that only is targeting young people who are living at home. So we are fully aware of the benefits and how it has raised the quality of the candidates that we're getting in London now. I'm sitting in a training centre in East London where we've actually got a course running, a pre-apprenticeship course, Galdris sponsored pre-apprenticeship course that's going to feed into at least 3 or 4 apprenticeship vacancies. Now this course gives CSCS cards and some other NOC level 1 qualifications, but ultimately it's a 3-week interview. I'm here every other day to actually work with the guys to make sure that they're going to be job ready. So if I give them the opportunity, I know they're not going to fail me. And we would like to operate the same kind of system up at with our RMF to make sure that the right candidates, once they're in the position to succeed, and they move into sustainable jobs with us.
Excellent. Well, I'll close it off in terms of our conversation, assuring you that the people of West Midlands have got as much competence, if not more, than that second city called London has. So the first city of Birmingham will overtake what London brings to the UK. I can assure you.
My problem is I've got to find Birmingham. I've been there once, and I've got to find it. Once I get past the M25, I get a nosebleed.
No, we make it very easy to find the West Midlands. We make it very difficult to leave the West Midlands based on Spaghetti Junction. You will often find that you come up and just go around in a repeated circle. So it's best to stay, Dave. Best to stay.
Everyone was very welcoming. No, I look forward to it.
Excellent. That's good news. So, no, thanks, David. I think that was really insightful in terms of a company that's probably not recognised by most of our audience today, but somebody that's going to be very significant in the region for a foreseeable period of time now, moving forward. So that's really good. So I suppose without further ado, I go to colleagues who I know well from the L Lynch company. Both Tom and Lee took time out today to join us to give us a little bit more information from another south-facing company, but somebody significant wanting to work in the West Midlands for a foreseeable point of time with us. An organisation that's done well in terms of local recruitment today. Tom works significantly hard finding areas of the new West Midlands that he hasn't found previously, and finding individuals that bring that talent to L Lynch, which will be foreseeable moving forward. So over to you guys, just to tell us a bit more about the opportunities that you have in the West Midlands, please.
Thank you, Sean. I will just share my screen. Bear with me 1 second. Let's see it now.
This is all quite new to Tom.
Yes, as Sean said, I'm Tom. As Sean said, we do have a head office based in London, but we also have premises in the Midlands as well, and we are currently building a depot in Birmingham. So my primary job for the business is to manage HS2. David, actually, Gouges are a customer of ours, so we're supplying you on this project currently. So you have to excuse the noise. I'm in a live office, you see, so there's lots of people walking in and out. We're sort of 42 years in business. We're a national plant hire company. We sort of becoming to specialise in major project work, so we travel around the country supporting major projects, and customers like Balfour Beatty, Vinci, Kia, Skanska, we supply to all of those, as well as regional customers. But I look after sort of the major works. I'll flip my screen. So we can offer a lot of opportunity with plant operators, but also fitters, mechanics, lorry drivers, admin staff. It's quite a broad opportunity, really. But our core would be plant operators. We've worked with RMF probably for the last 4 years, using their training facility to bring in local people for employment opportunities. Anyway, we've trialled some things with Crisis over the last 3 or 4 years with Sean. So we're well established in this area as a business, and now on the project, I mean, it's taken a couple of years for it to grow here, and we've grown with it. So we currently have around 100 machines sitting, or excavators or items of plant sitting on the job between Southam and Lichfield and in and out of Birmingham. A lot of those are operated. We've got 20 plus tipper lorries up here now. We have a full-time mechanic. So as we grow and develop with this job, opportunity will grow with it. So I mean, a great company to work for. I've worked for them for 12 years. I was a plant operator. I joined the business with 1 ticket to drive an excavator, and over the years they've invested in me to have multiple tickets, to then be a foreman, to then joining the sales team, and then becoming a project manager. So the business has allowed me, a wealth of growth and to get a lot of knowledge to become who I am today. So absolutely fantastic family business that will give great opportunities to hard-working people. Now, touching on the apprenticeship scheme, so we run an apprenticeship scheme, but also alongside that we run a scheme called Careers in Plant. So it's actually a lot shorter. It'll be done over a 2 to 3 week period of training, which will enable a candidate to have maybe 2 or 3 initial tickets to operate, let's say, an ADT, a roller, and a dual view or forward tipping dumper. These are good basics to get onto site to then learn and develop. So, you know, it's a 1-year program, which Lee will be able to take you through the finer details, because that's how she does. But it's a 1-year program. It'll be 2 to 3 weeks training, and then it's site based and led by, well, myself and the training team that work out in the field. So we'll give that full support and growth and development and share that knowledge and experience. And it's well received by the likes of Balfour BT. So, you know, it's welcomed to see that we are bringing in local people for local jobs. It's you know, so there are no problems with inexperience and stuff like that, because it's sort of accepted that, you know, local people are going to come in, be trained and work on the job. So, you know, it's a tried and tested system that we've been doing for, I don't know, Lee, how long is it? 2 or 3 years we've been doing careers in plant now?
3 years.
Yeah. And you know, you could take everyone through the sort of the pay structure and the way that the opportunity can grow.
Yeah, of course. So we very much found that like pay as you kind of learn is the way forward in terms of bringing great candidates into the industry, and giving them that support. So they start off, they go and do their 2 to 3 weeks training. They obtain anywhere between 2 to 3 tickets. And then they are fully supported by my team, the recruitment team, as well as our training team, as well as Tom's team, who kind of work on the ground for HS2. It's all on big projects, so you've got numerous guys and girls to kind of go over and talk to and say, right, I don't really know how to do this, can you help me? And it's very, our values as a business, we have kind of one team, respect, passion, and it's looking after the person when they join us and making sure that they have a successful apprenticeship or training course with us. In terms of the careers in plant training, as I said, you get anywhere between 2 to 3 tickets when you first start with us. And then we kind of guide you through the year of kind of growing your experience, growing your skills on site. Once you get to like the 12-month mark, we then sit you down and have a conversation of what do you want to do next? Are you happy with kind of the tickets that you've got right now? Or do you want to kind of further develop yourself? And that is a decision that is completely up to the candidate. If they say, I'm absolutely happy in what I'm doing, then we just further your kind of skills and we help turn your cards from kind of red to blue. If you turned around and said, yeah, I want to kind of look at a telehandler or an excavator, then we can start the training of giving you some taster sessions, getting you on a 360. We have numerous kind of training facilities up and down the country. So it's getting you on there, seeing if it's something that you really want to do. And then if that is the decision you want to make, then we start the training, and the training can take anywhere between kind of 3 to 4 weeks. And then you're back out onto site learning as you earning as you learn. So it's very much kind of well-rounded, fully supported, and you've got the backing of everyone within the team. The other training scheme we've got is the apprenticeship. So this is a 2-year program. Sorry, the first one that I was talking about is our in-house training program, and then you go on to the official apprenticeship, which is kind of 2 years. You start off again by getting a couple of tickets, whether that's ADT and roller or ADT and forward tipping dumper, and then you go out onto site for 6 months. Get your hours behind you on those particular categories. Then you go back into college, you gain another couple of tickets, back out onto site, getting your hours behind you, and then the telehandler and the 360. And that's just so that you have enough time to be able to obtain all the hours that you need to fully succeed in your next venture. So that's it in a nutshell, really.
Yeah, I'd just like to add, we've not just moved into this area for this project. We are sort of setting up a depot premises. We want to develop our business and the way that we operate into Birmingham. So we're not just going to come, cut and run. We want to come here. We want to invest money, give opportunity, and develop. So local people will absolutely help that.
And another good thing to take into mind is that as an industry, in terms of plant operators, every single year we lose a number of plant operators, whether that's down to retirement or changing industry, and we are trying to plug the gap, bringing more people into the industry so that it can't die out. It's one of those things where it can't die out, but you don't get taught about it in school. I've done a few school visits over the last kind of few months, and it's bringing that kind of knowledge into schools, because it's very much, when you go into school, you learn about your pink jobs and your blue jobs, but this is very much a purple job. It's a unisex job where everyone can get involved. All the sites are adhering to nationality, race, age, beliefs, gender, and it's a very well-rounded environment to work on. So we are fiercely going out to try and find these new people that are going to take over our machines, and the new age going out, retiring, the old age going out and retiring, the new age coming in and kind of filling those footsteps. And we very much have kind of guys that have been with us for anywhere between like 10 to 15 to 20 years, and they are the ones that are kind of our mentors, that are helping these new recruits coming in, learning their skill and learning their trade.
They will take away some of that potential intimidation of walking onto a giant construction site fresh. I mean, I remember when I did it, and it was quite intimidating, but we will soften it. You know, we're there supporting it all the way. So and it's easy for us to sit here and say it because we do it every day, sort of thing. So.
Excellent. No, thanks very much, Tom and Lee, for giving us that little bit of a taster in terms of the world of L Lynch and what goes on in terms of plant operations. So the bit I want to talk about with the audience today is, we've heard from Dave, we've heard from Tom and Lee, a range of different opportunities in terms of vacancies, from steel erectors to formwork carpenters to ground workers, construction operatives, plant technicians. There will be something for all in that mix. How you choose the opportunities that you want to pursue, I need you to use the framework training partner that we have in RMF. So in the chat of this meeting today, I've just put on the contact details for a colleague at RMF, Rachel Green, and anybody that's interested in pursuing an application for live roles that Galdris and Lynch have got, which we've talked about today, or want to know a little bit more about the training that would allow you to access some of those roles, because yeah, there are card issues, there are competence issues, there's qualifications that sit around all, but we want to make that as seamless as possible for you to move into the job. A lot of talk about apprenticeships, and I want to reinforce the positives around apprenticeships from both companies. Previously, apprenticeships would have been seen as a young person only, so up to 18, but we've heard today the fact that actually the construction industry is looking for apprentices that are 18 years plus, with I think Dave's words, limitless opportunity for whatever age that comes beyond 18. So this is something which we have to reinforce. We've also talked about living wage, because absolutely key in terms of making sure that local residents get the value for money that they invest in the time that they do the job and on the job. Competence training is the last one. In order to get the jobs, yes, you need to be capable of performing the job. Some of those things are relatively straightforward to invoke. Some of them take a little bit of time. But again, what we've heard here is Tom making that commitment that L Lynch are going to be around in the region for as long as possible. Galdris, looking at packages that have got a minimum duration of 15 months in time. All of those things seem like careers for life for me. And that's why we bring good quality companies along to these sessions each month with good quality jobs that pay the right rate. So again, anybody from today who wants to follow up, please get in touch with Rachel Green at RMF Training. The email address is there. I was tempted to put a phone number as well. Some of you should already have it, but equally I didn't want to make Rachel's phone tied up for the next 24 hours with phone calls, because I'm sure today there'll be a lot of people who want to progress inquiries, applications, CV in front of Dave, Tom and Lee moving forward, which is what I want, as many people moving employment as possible. So we've hit our time duration in terms of 3:30. I have to say a big thanks to Dave, Lee and Tom for coming along and sparing your time today, making sure that real people in the West Midlands see real people with real jobs, because that's my passion, my total passion. I'm sure that Dave, Lee and Tom will be around at some point in the near future at RMF's Training Academy in Solihull and in Birmingham. So again, if you see these individuals in live, you can talk to them. They're not scary in real life. They're real people. And again, they'd be more than willing to spare a time to have a conversation about how those jobs become real for you folks. So hopefully it's been useful. Hopefully it's now give you food for thought for this afternoon in terms of Rachel's email address. I would encourage you to get typing as much as possible. If you've got the phone and you've got Rachel's number in live, please give her a ring to find out a bit more. So again, thank you presenters and thank you audience for today. Hope it's been useful and look forward to seeing you again in the future. Cheers now.